Welcome to this demo of using the Rollback tool for Amazon S3 along with S3 Metadata to recover deleted objects in Amazon S3. If we look in my important files folder, we can see I've only got one object. Where have all my objects gone? Let's look in show versions and we can see we've got pages and pages and pages of objects in here, and every single one has got a delete marker on. We've got 1 million delete markers. Oh dear. Right, how can we recover this as quickly as possible? And what's gone wrong anyway? Why have we got all these delete markers here? I wonder if this is to do with the lifecycle rule. Let's have a look in management, and we've got a lifecycle rule here. Yes, okay, so it's set to remove, so to put a delete marker on all objects when they're older than a year. Right, let's have a look at this rule in detail. And oh, it's set to 1 day, not 1 year. Right, that will have done it. So let's edit the rule and change it to being, instead of 1 day, to be 365 days. Right, so now the delete markers won't be placed on new objects until they are 365 days old. That's much better. But we've still got to get rid of these 1 million delete markers. Let's see if we've got S3 metadata turned on, because if we do, we can get started straight away without having to list the whole contents of the bucket out to a CSV file. We don't, so let's create a metadata configuration. In our journal table settings, we'll enable expiration to keep costs to a minimum, set that to 7 days and acknowledge what that's going to do, and we'll leave the other settings as default. S3 is now creating for us 2 tables. These are managed iceberg tables. In S3 tables, we've got a journal table and we've got an inventory table. The journal table tracks all mutating changes, and that one's going to be created immediately. And the live inventory table is going to have the status of every object in the bucket. That's going to take a little while to backfill. So while that's doing that, let's go and get the solution ready to deploy. So when you go to the GitHub page for the solution, there's lots of documentation here to read, of course. And then we have the Rollback YAML. This is the CloudFormation template itself. Let's download this. And then we're going to go into CloudFormation and create a stack with it. So we'll create a new stack, we're going to upload our template file, we'll choose the file that we just downloaded, and click Next. Now we need to enter all the parameters. What is it we're trying to recover? So we need to give this stack a name, and we're going to put in the name of the bucket that we want to recover. And because we're only going to be removing delete markers, we want to put in the timestamp that those delete markers started to be created. So we're not trying to roll the whole bucket back to a point in time. We're just saying I want to remove all delete markers created after, and we'll say the 10th of January, midnight. So we're going to address the entire bucket, remove every delete marker after the 10th of January. And to do that, we use the delete marker removal mode. So we're not rolling back the bucket, we're just removing delete markers. And we're not going to start these batch operations jobs automatically. We're going to check the job is correct before we start it. We're already set to use S3 metadata by default. So is that table ready yet? No, it's not. We need to wait a little bit longer for this backfilling to take place. Let's come back in half an hour. And it's done. Okay. So now our table is active. We've now got a table we can query that has the whole state of our bucket in it, which means we can go back to CloudFormation and we can click Next, scroll down, click Next, and submit. We can watch our CloudFormation stack deploy. Sped this up slightly. It's going to take all of about 2 minutes to deploy all the components, do all the queries using Athena, calculate the exact objects and object versions that need to be deleted, and generate a batch operations job that's going to run a Lambda to go and delete all of these objects. We can see that's created, just took a couple of minutes to run. And if we look in the output of our CloudFormation, we can see a link here directly to that batch operations job that's been created. Here's our job, and we can see that there are 1 million objects in the manifest. That's 1 million delete markers to be removed, and it's awaiting confirmation to be run. So we click on Run Job, we scroll down, and we click Run. And away it goes. What this is doing is S3 batch operations is taking our manifest, our 1 million objects that need to be removed, and it's using a lambda to remove each of these. And as you can see, it took 5 minutes to remove all 1 million delete markers. So let's see what effect that's had in our bucket. If we go back to objects and we refresh and go into important files, let's see what the state is now. Oh look, we've got all of our 1 million files back. And if we click on show versions, we can see that every single one of those delete markers is gone. So please check out the tool for yourself, and if you've got any questions or any feedback, please get in touch. Thanks for watching.